While everyone talks about Dan Preston's Chateau restoration, there's one mystery that's driving his viewers absolutely crazy. What's happening in his garden? Dan rarely shows the grounds at Château de Chaumont, but from glimpses and clues, we can piece together what might be the most intriguing garden project on YouTube. Introduction. Welcome back to Chateau Walls. Today we're diving into the biggest mystery surrounding Dan Preston's Château de Chaumont, the garden he barely shows us. From fleeting glimpses of what appears to be cedar-lined pathways to rumors about ancient yew trees and that legendary white yurt spotted in the background, Dan's keeping his garden project surprisingly secret, besides when he originally planted it. Today, I'm analyzing every clue, background shot, and subtle reference to piece together what might be happening in this hidden garden paradise. Section 1. The Garden Mystery and What We Can See. Let's start with what we actually know versus what Dan's keeping hidden, because the mystery itself tells us something important about his content strategy. In Dan's videos, we catch occasional glimpses of the chateau grounds, brief shots through windows, background views during outdoor segments, and those tantalizing moments when he steps outside but keeps the camera focused tight on specific projects. What we can piece together suggests a property with incredible potential that Dan might be deliberately keeping under wraps since his initial planting. From historical records and aerial views available online, Château de Chaumont sits on substantial grounds that would have originally included formal gardens typical of French chateaux. The glimpses we get suggest mature trees and also ones in early growth, likely including those rumored ancient yews that would be consistent with a property of this age and significance. The fact that Dan rarely shows the garden creates intrigue that actually benefits his content strategy. Viewers constantly ask about it in comments, speculate about future garden episodes, and remain engaged partly because of what they're not seeing. This scarcity approach is brilliant content marketing, whether intentional or not. What's particularly interesting is how Dan occasionally references outdoor projects or mentions garden-related challenges without showing us the results. This suggests active work happening that he's choosing not to document, at least not yet. Section 2. The cedar-lined pathway clues. Now let's analyze those glimpses of what appears to be cedar-lined pathways, because these brief shots reveal potential design genius. In several videos, sharp-eyed viewers have spotted what looks like cedar edging in background shots when Dan steps outside. If this is accurate, it reveals sophisticated thinking about both aesthetics and practicality that we'd expect from someone approaching chateau restoration so methodically. Cedar lining would serve multiple purposes in a chateau garden setting. It creates defined spaces in what would otherwise be overwhelming large grounds, provides clean lines while maintaining natural character, and offers the practical benefit of rot resistance crucial for French climate conditions. The choice would also make sense from a content creator's perspective. Cedar pathways would provide consistently photogenic backdrops for future garden content, maintain their appearance across seasons, and create natural project segments for documentation. If Dan is indeed using cedar throughout the garden design, it suggests a comprehensive vision rather than piecemeal improvements. This level of planning would be consistent with his methodical approach to the chateau interior work. The fact that we only get tantalizing glimpses makes these pathway sightings feel almost like Easter eggs for dedicated viewers, creating community engagement as people spot and discuss these background details. Section 3. The yew tree mystery and garden potential. The most intriguing aspect of Dan's hidden garden might be the rumored ancient yew trees. They represent incredible inherited value. Based on the chateau's age and typical French garden layouts, mature yews would be expected on grounds like these. These trees, if present, would likely be centuries old, irreplaceable garden features that add instant gravitas and maturity to any landscape design. The speculation around these trees has become part of Dan's community engagement, with viewers analyzing background shots and discussing potential garden features in comments. This organic mystery building creates anticipation for future garden reveals. If Dan is indeed working around existing mature specimens or even early growth, it would explain his methodical approach to outdoor projects. Ancient trees require careful consideration. You design around them, not despite them. This patience would be consistent with his respectful approach to the chateau's historical elements. The practical benefits of mature yews, if they exist, would be enormous. They provide wind protection, privacy screening, and year-round structure when other plants are dormant. For someone creating content, having photogenic natural backdrops available in all seasons would be invaluable. The fact that Dan hasn't showcased these potential assets suggests either they need significant restoration work or he's saving them for a major garden reveal episode that could become one of his most watched videos. Section 4. The legendary white yurt phenomenon. Now we need to address the internet legend that's become almost mythical among Dan's viewers, the alleged white yurt. This structure has been reportedly spotted in distant background shots, creating speculation that's taken on a life of its own. Whether the yurt actually exists or is simply viewer imagination run wild, the phenomenon reveals something fascinating about Dan's audience engagement. The community has created an entire mythology around this supposed garden feature, with viewers freeze-framing videos and enhancing images to try to confirm its existence. If a white yurt does exist on the property, it would actually make perfect strategic sense. Yurts provide flexible outdoor living space without permanent construction, ideal during renovation phases when indoor space might be limited or disrupted by dust and chaos. From a content creation standpoint, a yurt would be genius. It would provide alternative filming locations, create visual variety in shots, and generate exactly the kind of curiosity we're seeing. Whether intentional or accidental, this mystery element drives incredible engagement. The white color choice, if real, would be strategically smart, reflecting heat in summer, staying cooler than darker alternatives, and creating striking visual contrast against garden backdrops. For photography and videography, this contrast would create naturally compelling compositions. The mobility factor of yurts appeals to someone still developing their long-term vision. If garden design changes or seasonal needs shift, the structure could relocate without permanent landscape disruption. Perfect flexibility for an evolving project. Section 5. Seasonal Garden Strategy and Content Creation. Dan's approach to seasonal garden management reveals sophisticated understanding of both horticulture and content strategy. Spring content focuses on planning, planting, and early growth, perfect for viewers planning their own garden projects. Dan's timing aligns with when people are most motivated to start outdoor projects, maximizing relevance and engagement. Summer showcases the garden at peak performance, providing aspirational content that drives affiliate sales for tools, plants, and garden products. The lush growth and active outdoor living demonstrate the reward for spring's hard work. Autumn content highlights harvest, preservation, and preparation activities. This practical focus appeals to viewers interested in self-sufficiency, while creating opportunities for sponsored content with preservation equipment and storage solutions. Winter garden content is where Dan really shines. Rather than ignoring the dormant season, he shows garden structure, planning for next year, and maintenance activities. This year-round approach keeps garden subscribers engaged when other channels go quiet. The cedar pathways and mature yews provide visual interest even in winter, ensuring the garden remains photogenic year-round. This consistent backdrop quality is crucial for maintaining content standards during less visually exciting seasons. His documentation of weather impacts, seasonal challenges, and adaptation strategies provides genuine educational value while creating relatable content that builds community among fellow gardeners dealing with similar challenges. Section 6. Monetization and Business Opportunities. Dan's garden project creates multiple revenue streams that other creators often overlook. Affiliate marketing opportunities are enormous. Every tool Dan uses, every plant he recommends, every garden structure he installs becomes potential affiliate content. Garden enthusiasts are particularly motivated buyers, making this audience valuable for monetization. Educational content opportunities include seasonal garden courses, plant identification guides, and landscaping design principles. Dan's documented experience provides credible foundation for premium educational products. The garden creates natural sponsored content opportunities with nurseries, tool manufacturers, and outdoor living brands. The authentic integration of these partnerships maintains audience trust while generating revenue. Consultation services represent high-value monetization potential. As Dan's garden expertise grows, offering design consultations or garden planning services could generate significant income with minimal time investment. Like, subscribe, and consider joining my Patreon.